Okay, after a very, very long time, I am very bad at keeping track of when I actually do these videos, but we are finally doing JWA fixes, because I know a lot of people have been requesting this. And now we're finally doing it. I was kinda on the fence of doing more because I was worried about the Indonemes fiasco and all that. But it's all good, it's all good. Now we're here. Hold on, something wrong with my nose. We're here to do the Dillos, because basically anything with the Dilophosaurus animation, the small theropod. So fixing I don't know what I titled it. This is kind of unprepared. In fact, I'm doing this even before I've done the drawings for the hybrids in this video. But let us begin. I do not know how to search because it's been a long time since I did my Dillos. Anything with the Dillo animation, so bear with me as I try to figure out what I'm doing. Dilophosaurus. Let's see. What did I do to Dilophosaurus? I believe I gave Dilophosaurus, like, a huge revamp on how I wanted it to work. Nullifying Distraction. That's the one I basically made. Because back in the day, Dilophosaurus was one of the... Like, in the very first version of the game, Dilophosaurus was probably one of the best dinosaurs because it could just nullify all your positive effects. Probably the only, like, real counter to Ankylosaurus, who was also, like... It was like I said, Dilophosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, and Ankylosaurus were, like, the best dinosaurs in the game, for me anyway. And now they're all useless. Real quickly, the actual Dillo. Dillo, there we go. Let's see what the comparison... Oh, yeah. Huge health buff, maybe too much health because this is a common. And I changed your resistances a bit. You used to be immune to distractions, but now you are no longer. You are now immune to bleed and vulnerable. And that's mostly because I changed your abilities to Nullifying Distraction and Venom Spit over Venom Impact, and I gave you Venomous Counter. Nullifying Distraction, which is basically just exactly what it sounds like. It nullifies all positive effects and then reduces the damage of the enemy. That's basically what it does. And then Venom Spit, what does Venom Spit do? Cleanse, reduce damage, nullify all positive effects, deal an impact, reduce damage by 50%, and reduce speed by 50%. Okay, that might be a tad OP for a common. But it's like, this one, you know, most of the time they just add OP creatures, so what the heck, I'm gonna do it too. I'll just leave it up to the comments to decide if I'm going insane with power or not, to just keep me in check. Monolophosaurus Gen 2. Also, about the same thing, except you have Venom Rampage over whatever it was you had before. Okay, so I have like 4 different Venom attacks. I got Venom Spit, which is exclusive to Dillos because they spit, Venom Rampage, Venom Impact, and Venom Strike. And what does works differently, I think. So then Venom, like, let's see, Venom Spit affects all opponents, but Venom Rampage only affects one opponent. Cleanse, reduce damage, remove dodge, break shields, attack times 2, and then reduce speed. I think my logic behind this was to make these guys Raptor counters, actually, because the Raptors, I increased their speed, which makes them faster than almost everything, until Microraptor showed up, which goes even faster than the limits I made for the Raptors. So thank you for that, Ludia. What did I do? Oh, yeah, I gave you some resistances, and that's basically it. That's all I did. So anyway, this is meant to be like Raptor counters. Next, I should be Tani. Tani got a bit of is very different because it's meant to be like a wild card, completely separate from all the other Dillos. I kept its main abilities, and I think I kept its stats the same as well. I just gave it exposing counter and swap in vulnerability, which basically means you swap in and your opponent becomes vulnerable. I think I made that. Yeah, I just made that up myself. And I gave it some extra resistances to better act as a wild card, being the only common wild card in the game that I'm aware of. I guess Hadrosaurs count as wild cards too, since healing isn't exclusive to Resilient. Oh yes, and making an appearance from Primal Ops, Supayasaurus, Nullifying Distraction, Distracting Impact Infection. Oh, I got this one from Erlich G2, his infection thing, where it works like Disney Heroes Fatigue, where they tried... it's basically a buff blocker. So, reduce damage by 50% for 2 turns, 1 attack. Infected for 1 turn, 2 buffs, as I listed it. Immune to distractions, because you do not have the Venom ability, and you have Nullifying Distraction. Oh, I gave you a ton of damage, holy moly. Well, you're a common. A lot. I think that was a thing back in the past, when the game first started. Commons were considered to be, like, weaker, but they always had one stat that was better than all of the dinosaurs. Like, Raptor had more speed than every dinosaur. Apatosaurus had more health than every dinosaur. Euplocephalus had more armor, but then that didn't make sense because it also its hybrid had the same amount of armor, and now everything has 40% armor, and 40% armor isn't even the maximum anymore. Neither is speed, and with the recent Notapata Titan buff, Notapata Titan has the most health. It has like 150 extra health. There he is, the Dilophosaurus, which is basically the same as the other one, except, did I tweak your stats? You guys can tell me, because I do not remember. It's been ages since I last reworked my Dillos, and I visited them, and I've basically forgotten what I did. I think it's the same. I just replaced one ability with Venom Spit over whatever it had before, and I gave it Venomous Counter. My logic being that this used to be an event exclusive, and that was... But, you know, that logic really doesn't matter anymore, so it's like, why should I follow logic? Forget, what is logic? Just do whatever you want now. Who cares anymore? Make your dinosaurs as OP as you want, but not to the point where it's, like, unfair. I think I did this pretty fairly, though. Loads of, basically, less speed than other Cunnings, but a lot more damage to make them a lot more desirable. Because that's what Dillos are. No one wants to use the Dillo because the Raptors are just better, and even then, the Raptors aren't good anymore either. You would rather use the Gorgonopsids or the Phlox. No one uses any Cunning except Phlox anymore. That's the thing now. Really, I should... Actually, this makes you a good Flock creature because you cleanse reduced damage, you nullify all positive effects, and you damage all opponents. So this... I've unintentionally made Dillo a pretty good Flock counter. Huh. I did not mean to do that. Oh, and I gave you, like, distraction resistance as well. Here's another one from Primal Ops, Dracovenator. I have no problem including these in the game because it's like they have their own... They just use the animation. They don't really spit. They don't have to spit because Proceratos is in the game, but he doesn't spit like the Dillo. Okay, anyway, Nullifying Distraction, Venom Strike, and Distracting Impact Infection. So just the exact same ability. Just takes the best of both worlds. Did I make this thing too OP? I don't think I made this thing OP. It's good. Whoops, nearly forgot about Proceratosaurus despite me actually naming him earlier. Oh, you're almost identical to the Dilophosaurus, except you have Venom Impact instead of Venom Spit. And your resistances are very different from it as well. Huh, neat. Also, you have a load of health. Is that normal? Is that normal for you? You know, it doesn't matter. You know, you yeah. I remember, oh, that's right. Proceratosaurus was actually better than Dilophosaurus back in the day. That's right. And here is the only epic creature to use the Dilophosaur animation, the Monolophosaurus. Knockout, as we call him in, what's the podcasts, the Carnivorous Conversations. Nullifying Distraction, Distracting Rampage, Venom Impact, and a bunch of resistances. Good rework, good rework. Oh, also, I boosted your stats quite a bit. Now, I think I added one more to the epic line, if I can find him. There he is, the Sinosaurus. Nullifying Distraction, Venom Rampage. You have low health, but way too much damage. Distracting Impact Infection. Distracting Obstruction. Oh, did I make that up? I think I made that up. Basically, an instant distraction plus a pin down. Pretty, solid. Very solid. Now there is, I think that's all of them, but there is one more thing we need to add. Everyone's absolute favorite. If I can just make him an epic. Because everyone loves the Gojirasaurus from Primal Ops, am I right? Okay, let's just think that the creative process does 3,750 health sound about right? Sure it does, when I give it like 1,800 damage. And its speed shall be pretty slow compared to other, 124 sounds about right. We'll give you a 10% crit chance, no armor, and as for resistances, because it doesn't really matter. Normally I would follow a pattern, but it doesn't really matter, so I'm just gonna make you immune to stuns, 50% vulnerable reduction, taunt immune. Actually, no taunt immunity. Let's forget that one. We'll also give you bleed by 67% is a good number. Why not? Let's just leave it at that for now. As for your accelerated daring strike, no, that's what do I want to give you? Let's give you definite strike just for the heck of it. If I can find definite strike. Oh, are these DE? Definite strike. There you are. Now let's find one of my abilities that I made up. If I could find Venom. They need to find a better way to filter all these abilities because this is kind of annoying to look through. Venom Spit is here, right there. And we're gonna finish it off with Venom Rampage. Why not? If I can find Vulnerable something? No. Venom Rampage. There we go. Counter? What do I want to give you? Let's just go with minimal critical counter if I can find, or minor critical counter. Either one of those will work. Minor critical counter and nothing else. Did I label you as a wild card? I did. Even though you're, well, you have definite strike, so I guess that makes sense. Therapods, small size, small. And now we just gotta give you your profile picture. It is just a Dilophosaurus because that's what you are. If I can just Dillo, D-I-L, Dilophosaurus Gen 2, why not? That's your Gojirasaurus. Everyone's absolute favorite creature in the game is Gojirasaurus. I'm joking, I know a lot of you hate it. So moving right along to the hybrids, are there that many hybrids? I don't think there are. There's only this one, and after this is Orion. Those are the only ones. And I didn't touch Orion because Orion's pretty solid the way it is. And I have a feeling that Ludia will eventually buff it one day. Or like, you know, they say they'll buff it, but they'll really just give it a boost in damage or something. Nullifying Distraction, Venom Spit, and I just basically gave it Dylolania's abilities. I also gave Dylolania a rework to match this, but I decided to scrap it because there was really no point. It got buffed, and now it's one of the most OP dinosaurs in the game now. Really glad to see that, though, that an old dinosaur has finally gotten some love. What else? Venomous counter and a bunch of resistances that you didn't have before. That's Dyloranosaurus. Oh, Nullifying Distraction. I basically changed all of your abilities. Okay, weirdly enough, I think that's it, because there's already an Apex Dillo, so I really don't see a point in me making another one. Kevin is acting up. I think he's going to get ready to poop, so I'm going to be ready for that. What's next? I don't know. The next video will already be... You won't have time to choose the next one because I'm already going to be uploading that one tomorrow. So... Oh yeah, I didn't even make it... Why did it take me so long to make this video? I didn't have to draw anything. And now I know why. I felt like I was forgetting something. The Dylolania. That was the new guy I made, even though it's technically not a Dillo animation. Let me just get Kevin off my shoulder because he wants to run. So what did I do? I made this guy like a Cunning Fierce, Daring Strike, which I am honestly baffled. Ludia has yet to add any more creatures with Daring, Determined, or Heavy. Like, they sort of just forgot they existed. Not complaining too much, though, because it's not like any of the creatures had any bad abilities. Just kind of baffling that. That's like the only thing from Datamize that hasn't come to light. Anyway, Daring Strike, Venom Spit, Lethal Acceleration. It's basically a combination of like Group Acceleration and Lethal Wound. Also as Cunning Rampage, then nothing new there. Venomous Counter, On Escape Rampage, a bunch of resistances. Here's its description. Dylolania is basically a cross between a frilled-necked lizard and a monitor. It is also capable of spitting venom as a defense mechanism. Well, I think I'll just show off the drawing of this one and one other hybrid, because I made one hybrid as well. Dude, look how many Lux creatures I've made. Anyway, this is the one we want. Lacerda Lux, I gave it the shark profile for some reason. I just didn't want to give it the lizard one. Even though it is technically just exactly the same as Dylolania, except now it has a Parasaurolophus crest, and it's bioluminescent. Pure Infection, what is this? Cleanse all negative effects, target all opponents, break shields, bypass armor, attack ×1, damage over time, 15% targets for 2 turns. Oh, that is definitely Pure Infection. Lethal Acceleration is the same. Venom Spit, Greater Group Heal, Counter Power Heal, On Escape Rampage. Probably should add Swap and Distraction so it keeps its Distraction ancestry. Well, it does have Venom Spit, so I guess that's fine. Or maybe I could replace Greater Group Heal with like Instant Team Heal. Distracting Team Heal, I think that's the one. That would make more sense. But either way, let's look at the design. The eerie glow of Lacerda Lux means this large lizard is impossible to miss. The species still manages to thrive as it doesn't rely on stealth to claim a victim. So now let's just, at the time of recording this, I have yet to design them, but in the same video, like, it's gonna be like, I'm recording this a week in advance, so I should have the design out by then, and that's where I'll end the video. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, so first things first, we have the Dylolania, which is basically just a... Oops, I forgot to draw a nostril. Oh well, there's just basically my just an attempt of making a Megalania with the head of a Dilophosaurus. That's literally what it's supposed to be. It's very basic. I'm a very base drawer. I didn't put too much effort into it, but I think I like the way the colors turned out. And then we have the hybrid known as, what did I call you? Lacerda Lux? With this, which is basically the same thing, except now his head's a little different. And he has the Parasaurolophus crest on it. And he's got, of course, the glowing Lux part of him. Probably could have gone a little more creative, but I just did this last bit. Also, here's a bit of a sneak peek of some of the guys that are coming up next. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I can show. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.